I know you guys haven't had a good bike video. This is a rebuild. This is a Hector and Oscar special from Allentown, PA. Came all the way up here in the hills. Kid thought he got a deal. And I wanted to make a point again. Over and over. I seem like a preacher. I should have my own church, but this is it. This is my church, my pulpit. I've got half a dozen tractors I'm building, and these bearings, when you're running these heavier engines, even my souped up motors and stuff, those regular bicycle wheels and rims, they are not going to hold up, okay? I've replaced the bearings on Dr. Evil, I don't know, about 4 or 5 times already. It's just that they're cheap, they're $3 and $4 a pop, and I can keep getting them. But there was a bunch of other things wrong with that bike, which we're going to go over in another video. It's a neat bike, but it was just ill put together. And the other point, old Bubba's in the litter box. Ooh. Oh, ooh. Yeah, I kind of figured it was him, old flutter ass. That thumb thing, if this comes loose at full tilt with one of these 4 strokes, you're kind of screwed. I tell people over and over about keeping their nose off the pavement. I had to run another hose out here. Everything's frozen. It's been the worst freezing rainstorm. It's like a sliding board. I'm staying here in the stone, and that's why us hillbillies have stone instead of paved everything. Here comes another Muppet. I actually ended up getting this for free. He was too cheap to buy a carburetor off me last year. It was leaking, and he figured he'd get by the whole season. Folks, when you have a hot engine and gasoline, and you smell gas, even if you don't see a leak, just smelling gas is telling you there's an issue. Listen to that little voice inside your head. Yeah, it's a little full of ice there. Poor cat's vexed. And my last magic trick, okay, before you fry your snowblower and use it as a gas grill and all the neighbors are calling the cops and the fire department, these wheels that won't come off these Troybilts, try drilling 2 holes using 2 long bolts. Those are about a 4.5-inch bolt, by the way. You'll probably have to run to the hardware store. These, don't rent them, or rent them, don't buy them, because they're cheap junk. I did actually buy that because I contemplated doing a few projects with it. As you can see, it just ain't gonna happen. But it will get the wheel off. This is the power of air. There it goes. So I should be able to pull that right off. I gotta set the camera down. I'm really not feeling good from smoking, so it's probably the year I quit. Voila. I don't know if I have to adjust this up. I know you guys don't like looking at my knees. That's what it should look like. I took the cone off. I did use this in order to stay centered in the beginning of the pull, but you'll get so far. That's how I cut that groove, and it started biting into the lip of the rim. There's guys, I saw the most asinine thing. This guy cut the axle, said he put it on a press and tried to press the axle out, and it wouldn't come out on a 20-ton press. I don't know where these geniuses work or where they got their education at. You see this? It's called a pneumatic tire. And when you work on aircraft on a Navy ship like I did, you will see a lot of things are buffered by pneumatics. Not just tires, and not just to land the airplane. But there's other parts and constructions of aircraft and Navy ships where vibration can make things loose. Just like we use that air gun because it creates a vibration. A lot of times you can get things loose with just your air chisel. You drill a hole in the bolt, and sometimes it'll jiggle it loose. In this case, if you look, and you can see remnants of it here, that's not the plastic, there was some kind of grease or Loctite or something, because I had to heat it up. I used a little smoke wrench. So they obviously put something in there to spoil your party, folks. I don't know what it is, but you have to heat it up as well as use that to even think of getting those wheels off. But as far as the cat just fell on his head. Ay, 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 ay. As far as getting those wheels off, and cutting axles and machining out hubs. I don't know what's going on with people, and I preach that I'm not happy with this political situation, especially Virginia, because if there's a civil war, guys like me are going. This is the lack of education that these people, they're even working in skilled trades and they have no physics background. It's important before you become an auto mechanic or anything to have stuff like physics and shop class in school, which they've removed all of that. They planned on becoming a communist country a long time ago. You could see Dirty Harry, all these crazy criminals they created. They wanted control of society. You know, they didn't want, like my favorite song, Chevy Van, they didn't want you laying there with your girlfriend and having a nice life. They've really ruined and thwarted the purpose of life, to have some education to rely on, some background to rely on. So I preach to people that education's important, and you need to teach it to your children, especially if you realize that you slipped a few notches in life and you can't work in today's competitive environment. I can't work there because I have a physical handicap and I have documented PTSD on my military record. So that disqualifies me from a lot of positions, but I'm happy working on stuff in my backyard. Okay? I don't make a lot of money, that's why I'm not a rich man, and that's why I don't have a lot of new things. So it makes you work harder in old age, but the biggest muscle in order not to work harder, this is the muscle, up here, not this. I have a lot of that too. That's when people big mouth me and I tell you on my channel, don't do it. Step out behind the red barn over there and we'll learn a few life's hard lessons together. Mainly about what I can teach you. I can teach you in 6 seconds what I learned in 23 years in the Marine Corps and DOD. I'll teach you just in a couple seconds what it does. It's fortitude. Just like this stuff. You need to stop showing people this muscle and show them this muscle. Okay? I like a lot of you guys. I get a lot of compliments. I get phone calls. I had Sweden, Denmark, I had the French, and I had Aussies. I don't know what happened, if Google somehow gave me a free boost, or people were just watching my channel about my bikes and the things that I do some more, but I'm getting phone calls at all crazy hours, and I realize it's foreign exchanges, or it comes through 800 something, 800 service or 800 international, and people are like, wow, I was just blown away because you just made a hard job so much easier. And they don't really even recollect my name from the video, but they did recollect to write down the phone number and say, son of a bitch, I learned something. So the muscle up in your head helps you get through jobs like this. And especially if the machine is a twofold problem. It not only has the bound up transmission, which these guys are famous for, these MTDs, you can see that shit's long past its due, but it also had a fire, and I also have to get a starter for it. I had a carburetor. I stocked these carburetors. There's another, that's a 170 that's going to go together. The 160's done over there, came out beautiful, perfect, like my usual workmanship. And in the summer here, in the spring months, depending on how the pesos go, or if I have to rob another bank. I mean, I didn't say that. Vinny robs another bank with me. I mean, just, we have to work a little harder this spring to get Nikki going there. And sometimes the money goes out as fast as it comes in, and then I have other bills to pay in between. And like I said, I don't make a whole lot doing this. I'm not all that popular yet. I seem to attract more customers in the overseas area than I do here locally, but that was really flattering. Like I said, and the guy started speaking to me in Dutch, and I speak very little anymore. I spoke fluent German, Pennsylvania Dutch, up until I was in high school. Then I had to quit because I got called names, picked on. But anyway, I was a guy that went on to fly fighter jets and have fun with my life, and I can make a living having fun in my backyard, which I still enjoy very much. So you guys that really make my video, I just have to say a thank you here on Christmas, because it's almost Christmas, and the Amish Christmas isn't until the 15th to the 18th of next month. So we're a little bit different culturally, as far as still a Christian type of Christmas, but it's still a different date. How that is, there's some Mennonites or some other Amish sects, they celebrate a conventional. I just went back to the old roots, and I still have, I go out to heckle my friends out in Kutztown, Kempton, all the way down to Lancaster. I go out and heckle them bastards. Hey, what's the matter? You can't afford real clothes? And then I say something smart ass to them in Amish, and that really blows their mind, because when you know the dialect, that just sets them back on their keister. And I have fun with life. I'm naturally facetious. When I'm in command on a goddamn Navy ship, I'm not the guy you want to fool with. I'm all business there, because it's lives and it's my balls that are in a sling, not yours. Well, the guy that would make the stupid mistake, he would suffer. But you guys watching, a lot of people don't know where I come from or how to take me, and I do get some adverse comments to me. Go pound sand. I'm the guy with the tools. I'm the guy with the video. Make your own videos if you don't like the way I am in my videos. My videos are about education and educating people, because there's a lot of guys, they say to me, Dutch, I would like to do it, but I just don't know how. Okay, well, I'll make a video, because I see guys doing all kinds of wacky shit to try to get these wheels off, or I see other guys with basically new machines like mine is developing the transmission problem, and it's basically, it's hardly used. It was in a crate. It was a leftover from like 2001 or 2002. I bought it new in the box like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and it's already developing the transmission problem. So I'm going to conquer this one first, because if I make a mistake on this machine's basically a piece of shit. And that's what I need you guys to do. Is if you're going to work on your tractor, they're on Facebook, the marketplace, for $100, $200. Instead of learning an expensive lesson by taking it to a dealer, bring one home and look for one that's basically intact. The $50 tractor is not your best bet, because it's probably going to be missing the deck and all the other pieces that you really need to learn to work on. And that's because the last idiot couldn't figure out how to put it back together. So when you're talking to guys like me and listening to guys like me in a conversation, if you want to go back and forth and ask how to do something, I just made short work of what thwarts most people from fixing the transmission on these machines. There it is. It's done. I got to get the other side off. This side worked perfect. And that concludes my video. I'll upload it. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. And like I said, I can't believe I'm becoming an international star now. I thought it was bad when it was local, but international's good. And I'm glad a lot of you speak English in the foreign countries. It doesn't have to be good English to communicate with me. I do like it, because, like I said, if you don't speak anything other than English and German, I really can't understand you. That's my lack of education, not yours. It's on me. But I can't speak every language in the world. I'm not one of those, I'm not a total genius. I'm not a that gifted or whatever. I'm a semi-gifted, average type of guy. I just have a few amenities, and I like to share those. The little gifts that I do have, I like to share it with people, so you can do things for yourself, so you don't have to go broke. If you really aren't confident with something, there are guys like me around. You got to look for them. My phone number's on my videos. It's 570-459-6988. My phone number is out there. A lot of people call me, and they do ask questions, and I'm not just talking locally. So again, thank you. Happy holidays.